In response to Prime Minister Modi's bilateral meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping, former Indian diplomat Jayant Prasad emphasized the need for India and China to normalize their relationship. He noted China is India's immediate neighbor, and both countries are projected to be the number one and number two economies by 2050. If relations are not good, both will suffer and fail to achieve their development objectives. Prasad expressed concern over China's selective approach regarding the distinction of terrorists, stating that it has not been as forthcoming as India would prefer. He commended PM Modi for being forthright in presenting India's perspective during the discussions.
This meeting have an impact on the relations between the both countries?
I think it's very important that India and China should normalize their relationship. You know, China is India's immediate neighbor, and India and China are slated to be the number one and number two countries by 2050, in a few years' time. And arguably, I would say that China is India's most important relationship. I'm not saying the closest relationship, but keeping an even keel of relations between the two countries is important, because if they quarrel or if the relations are not good, then both will suffer and both will not be able to achieve their development objectives.
During the bilateral meeting, PM Modi says we are having it steadily in progress globally.
There is no doubt that this is a plurilateral and polycentric world. So it's very important that big countries like India, China and other great powers should have stable relations amongst themselves. So what Mr. Modi told President Xi is important.
PM Modi big statement on the world surrounded by war and conflicts and the changes of the terrorism. Double standard will not work.
Well, the hint is that China has not been as forthcoming as India would like on designation of terrorists, because they have been selective in doing that in the past. And I'm glad that our Prime Minister was forthright in presenting our point of view.
Xi Jinping also says it's important that both sides of have to more communication and cooperation, properly handle our differences and disagreement, and to facilitate each other pursuits.
You know, the test of a relationship is not when interests coincide, but the test of a relationship is when you have different interests and how you manage the differences. And that is absolutely correct, that both from India's point of view and from the Chinese point of view, there has to be greater maturity in dealing with each other.
How do you see the Canadian ambassador's statement and allegations and Telugu government behavior on the Niger case?
Well, about the future of India-Canada relations, it's very hard to say anything positive right now at the present juncture. But I want to make a broader point that these differences between countries, whether it's Canada or United
This meeting have an impact on the relations between